Alright, Twins and Marlins fans, we just got some crazy news. Jeff Passan just broke that the Twins and the Marlins are in agreement in a trade. The Twins are going to be receiving Pablo Lopez, which is someone that the Yankees wanted, even the Red Sox wanted at one point. The Marlins were just trying to find a team for Pablo Lopez, any team that needed pitching depth, and the Twins fit that bill perfectly. So like I said, the Twins are getting Pablo Lopez, while the Marlins are actually getting Luis Arraez, which is something I kind of want to talk about because Luis Arraez is a big cornerstone of that Twins team that kind of led them to their success last season. So before I get even deeper into why I think this trade is a win or lose for both teams, please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think the Twins got fleeced, or do you think that the Marlins got fleeced, or is it just a good trade? I mean, Luis Arraez for Pablo Lopez sounds good. So in my other video I made based off the Twins saying, maybe they could make a playoff run this year, I thought to myself, man, the starting pitching rotation isn't that good, but it's decent. When I say decent, I mean you have Joe Ryan, which is going to be your future ace of your team, in my opinion. I think Joe Ryan played really well last season. I think he's someone that just needs more time to grow, and he could be really good for your pitching rotation. On top of that, you guys still have Sonny Gray, you still have Tyler, you still have Kenta, you still have Bailey. I think Bailey is your best chance. I think Bailey has a lot of room to grow. He's super young. He had 1 year. He's kind of like Joe Ryan. Now, I do think it's smart that you guys did pick up Pablo Lopez, just because your number one pitcher according to Fangraphs is Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray, or Sonny Gray, however you want to say it, had a decent season last season after coming off a really bad season with the Yankees years prior. I think this is a perfect pick. I don't know where you slot him, maybe your third or first or even your second spot. Pablo Lopez is a really good pitcher. It's something that the Marlins have stayed for a long time. They have an amazing starting rotation, and they have too many pieces in their pitching rotation just to not give away and trade for. So I think it's great. But last year, Pablo Lopez had a really good season. He pitched the most innings he's ever pitched. He pitched 180 innings. He had an ERA plus of 108. He had a FIP of 3.71, a WHIP of 1.67, and he had a strikeouts per nine of 8.7. Not his highest, but you know, it's still in the middle. Last season in 2021, he had a 10.1 strikeouts per nine, but he pitched 102 innings. So Pablo Lopez is someone that really tested himself last year and, you know, performed like a really good pitcher. I think it's crazy that, you know, the Twins actually pulled this off, but then I think about, you know, who they had to give up. Luis Arraez is a really good player. Luis Arraez, of course, was an all-star last season. He finished 13th in MVP voting and won a Silver Slugger. Oof, that's nice. He's ended up going to the Marlins just because the Marlins need a lot of help in their infield. They don't have a lot of offensive pressure, and Luis Arraez is literally an offensive pressure type of person. So last year, Luis Arraez had the batting league title pretty much. He had a 316 batting average, a 375 OBP, a slug of 420, and an OPS plus of 130. That means he's 3% better than your average MLB player. That is really good. And he's a piece that I'm actually surprised got moved from the Twins just because he was really important to the Twins' success last season. Now, do I think the Twins in their head think, maybe we need to get rid of pieces because we have some young players that want to fill up that position that Luis Arraez was playing, because Luis Arraez usually DHs or first base, and yeah, they kind of have an overflow of that on their roster. For example, you got Nick Gordon projected to be your DH, but Nick Gordon can perfectly slot at your first base spot, and in reality, it was a really good, you know, idea to trade away Luis Arraez, you know, selling him high after coming off an all-star year and winning the batting average title. I think it's insane though to think about, because he really produced a lot. Like last year, he produced 88 runs for the Twins, and that's a lot coming from someone that hasn't been an all-star previously and, you know, hasn't played as many games as he's had before. Next year, Luis Arraez is projected to hit a 302 batting average, a 362 OBP, and a 408 slug, and have an OPS of 770. So that's just his projected numbers. I'm sure he'll hit over that. I think Luis Arraez is coming off a really hot season, and I'm sure he'll want to prove himself in the Marlins system. You know, Luis Arraez isn't gonna be a free agent till literally 2026, so he's gonna be with the Marlins for a bit, and I generally think that the Marlins having that offensive threat in their lineup actually helps them to a bit. The Marlins aren't still that scary. You know, most of the people, when I think of the Marlins, when I think of their offense, is Jazz, and Jazz was injured a lot last season. So I think the Marlins have a chance to do okay. Like I said, the Marlins get carried by their pitching depth and their just rotation being amazing, but I still think they need to go out there and get a little bit more of an offensive threat. Luis Arraez is a good start. I think this is a great foot in the door for the Marlins to actually do something and kind of compete, but that division is tough, man. The Marlins are going to be having to face the Nationals a lot, the Mets, the Braves, like the Phillies. It's a tough league over there, man. I think a lot of people in the National League East will finally feel the pain of facing Luis Arraez and their league and see how well this man gets on base and how he could literally just ruin your no-hitter. Shout out to Dylan Cease, because Luis Arraez actually ended his no-hitter. That was a crazy game, by the way. If you watch it, you watched it. But yeah, I'm kind of getting off topic. So like I said, it's not a 1-for-1 trade. The Twins are acquiring Pablo Lopez plus 2 prospects. So like I said, you know, you're getting a bit more for Luis Arraez. You're selling on him high, so it makes sense for him to get 2 prospects. But in that prospect pool, you're getting a shortstop and a player to be named later. A shortstop is Jose Salas. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. He did really well in the minors this year. In 2022, he had a 250 average, a 339 OBP, and a 722 OPS. It's an above average player in the minors. He is 19 years old. He's very young. He's batted in 69 runs so far, 9 home runs and 103 hits, and 412 plate appearances. I think this is a really good pickup. The player to be named later hasn't been actually released as I'm making this video. If it does get announced, I will actually put it in the comment section down below. But like I said, it's really interesting to see why the Twins would give up Luis Arraez. He's kind of a utility pick to a sense, right? He can play second base, third base, and first base, but it makes sense because they have a lot of people in their minor league system that can come up and perform. Now, will they be performing as well as Luis Arraez? That's for time to tell. But like I said, that's pretty much it, guys. I think Pablo Lopez going to the Twins was a perfect fit. And also, Luis Arraez going to the Marlins, it just makes total sense. The Marlins need more help on their offense, and the Twins need more help in their starting rotation. If they both want to try and compete in the divisions, they got to give up something. Also, the Twins are getting prospects, and that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe,